I was making tea this morning when the cup slipped. Crashed on the tile, shattered into a dozen pieces. I'm 82 years old, and I just stood there, staring at the fragments scattered across my kitchen floor. And I thought, that's my life now. Broken pieces of people who used to be here. My wife Helen, dead 11 years. My brother James, dead 7 years. My best friend Carl from the Navy, dead 3 years. My daughter, she's alive, lives in Australia. We talked twice last year. At 82, you don't just get old, you become a museum. Every room is an exhibit of people who aren't coming back. And the silence, God, the silence isn't peaceful. It's deafening with absence.
Young people see me and look away. Or worse, they look at me with pity, like I'm a preview of their nightmare. Being alone, being forgotten, being the last one standing. But here's what they don't know, what you can't know until you get here. When everything gets stripped away, the people, the noise, the distractions, what's left isn't nothing. It's the truth. Brutal, unforgiving, clarifying truth. So let me tell you what I've learned, not because I'm wise, but because I'm what's left after 82 years of getting it wrong. Nothing you think you own actually belongs to you. In my 50s, I was proud. I'd built a good career as a civil engineer, designed bridges that are still standing today, had a house I'd paid off, had respect. I thought those things were mine, that they defined who I was. I'm 82 now. The bridges are still there, but nobody remembers who designed them. The company I worked for was bought out decades ago. My name appears nowhere.
The house? We had to sell it when Helen got sick. Medical bills ate through everything we'd saved. Now I live in a 2-bedroom apartment that smells like my neighbor's curry every night. None of it was ever mine. I was just borrowing it. The only thing that stays is who you were when nobody was watching, the choices you made when they didn't benefit you. That's what remains. And people are just on loan too. All of them. I was married to Helen for 54 years. 54 years. We had breakfast together almost every morning for half a century. Then she was gone. Pancreatic cancer. 8 weeks from diagnosis to funeral. For a year after she died, I'd still set out 2 coffee cups every morning. Muscle memory. I'd catch myself turning to tell her something before I remembered there was nobody there. You spend your life building everything around certain people, and then they leave. Death, distance, doesn't matter. They leave. And you realize you never owned them. You were just lucky to walk beside them for a while. What remains is the love you gave. Not the love you got back, not the love you planned to give someday. The love you actually gave. That's the only thing that doesn't disappear. I spent most of my life waiting for the big moments. The wedding, my daughter's birth, the promotion, the retirement. Helen and I always said, when we retire, we'll go to Scotland. We'll spend a whole month there. Helen's grandmother was from the Highlands. Helen had this old photograph of her standing in front of a stone cottage. She kept it on her dresser for 40 years. I want to see where she came from, Helen would say. I want to stand where she stood. We retired in 1997. We had the time, we had the money saved, but then Helen's mother got sick, so we postponed, just for a few months. Then our daughter got divorced and needed help with the kids, so we postponed again. Then Helen's knee surgery, then my heart scare, then something else. Always something else. We never went. Helen died in 2014, having never seen the Highlands, having never stood where her grandmother stood. I have that photograph now. It's on my bedside table. I look at it every night before I turn off the light.
Last year, I bought a plane ticket to Scotland, flew there alone, rented a car, found the village in the photograph. The cottage is still there. It's a bed and breakfast now. Different color, but the same stone, the same hills behind it. I stood where Helen's grandmother stood, where Helen wanted to stand, and I cried like a child in the middle of that village street. Because she should have been there with me. We had 30 years to make that trip, 30 years, and we filled those years with reasons to wait. Reasons that seemed important at the time, but weren't. I'd give every dollar I have left to go back to 1997 and buy those tickets. To drag Helen onto that plane no matter what excuse we had. But time doesn't work backwards. Life isn't made of the mountain peaks you're waiting for. It's made of Tuesday mornings. It's made of the 1,000 small moments you're ignoring because you're looking at your watch. What remains are the moments you actually lived, and the holes where moments should have been but aren't, because you were busy, because you were waiting, because you thought you had more time. The loneliest part of being 82 isn't losing people. It's finally meeting yourself. I spent 70 years running from that meeting, kept myself busy, always working, always planning, always moving. Because if you move fast enough, you don't have to think about who you're running from. Turns out I was running from myself. At 82, you can't run anymore. Your knees won't let you. So you sit in a quiet apartment, alone with your thoughts, and you realize you don't know yourself very well. I had to forgive the man I was at 30, the one who was too proud to apologize to his father. We didn't speak for 3 years before he died, over something I can't even remember now. I had to forgive the man I was at 45, the one who missed his daughter's school play because of a work deadline that didn't matter. I had to forgive the man I was at 60, the one who was so focused on retirement accounts that he forgot to live before retirement.
If you haven't built a relationship with yourself, old age is terrifying. If you have, it becomes something else. Not peace exactly, but acceptance. I am enough, even alone, even at the end, even with all my failures. What remains is you. You'd better make sure you can stand to look at yourself. People ask about regrets. I have hundreds, but at 82, there are 2 kinds that matter. There are the regrets, the roads you didn't take, the risks you didn't chance, the dreams you let die. Scotland falls in this category. Those hurt, but you learn to carry them. Then there are the deeper ones, the ones that wake you up at 3 in the morning. The times you weren't kind. July 1989. Helen and I had a fight in our kitchen. She'd burned dinner. She never burned dinner, and I could tell she'd been crying about something. But instead of asking what was wrong, I said, "Jesus, Helen, can't you do one thing right?" She didn't yell back, didn't cry, just looked at me, and I watched something break behind her eyes. That look lived in my chest for 33 years. When she was dying, when we both knew she was dying, I brought it up. I apologized for that night. She said she didn't remember, but I know she did. She was just kinder than me, even at the end.
We spend so much energy being right, winning arguments, protecting our egos. But everyone in my phone book with a line through their name now, every person who's gone, I don't remember who won our arguments. I just remember that I wasted time arguing instead of loving them. What remains is knowing that kindness was always the right answer, every single time. If you have someone you can call today, call them. Not to fix something, just to say, "I'm glad you exist." Because one day, You'll want to make that call, and the line will be dead, and whoever was right won't matter at all. At 82, the world has moved on without me. I see young people with technology I don't understand, language I can't follow, problems that seem both familiar and foreign. At first, it made me bitter, made me feel erased while I was still here. But then I realized the world is supposed to move on. I'm not supposed to be the main character anymore. My granddaughter just turned 23. When I look at her, I see my mother's eyes, the same shape, the same intensity. I'm just one link in a very long chain. My job now isn't to lead, it's to witness, to watch the story continue, to cheer from the sidelines. There's freedom in not needing to be important anymore. What remains is the joy of watching life renew itself, knowing that some small part of you, maybe just your grandmother's eyes, will continue forward.
So here's what's left when everyone is gone. Gratitude. Not the easy kind, the kind that breaks your heart and puts it back together at the same time. Gratitude that I got to be here at all, that I got 54 years with Helen, even though I lost her, that I got to hold my daughter when she was born, that I got to see this morning's sunrise. I'm 82. I'm alone. My body is failing. But I'm not afraid anymore. Because nothing really ends. It just changes form. The love I gave is still out there somewhere. In my daughter. In the bridges I built that people drive over without thinking. In the friend I helped 40 years ago who I'll never see again. Energy doesn't disappear. It just moves to the next room. If you are listening to this, don't wait until you're 82. Look for what remains right now. It's in the person sitting across from you that you're taking for granted. It's in the morning you're rushing through. It's in the phone call you keep meaning to make. It's in the trip you keep postponing. What remains is what you choose to pay attention to right now. Choose carefully, because one day you'll be 82, standing alone in a kitchen in Scotland, crying over a trip you should have taken 30 years ago. Make sure you can live with that. Thank you for sitting with me. If this meant something, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And leave a comment. Tell me what you're holding on to. I read every one. Makes this apartment feel less empty. Your time is running out. What are you going to do with it?